Welcome everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to make a 5.5 inch square template. This one's made from a cereal packet. You can use a pizza box, nothing too thick like a crisp box, but if you've got something like cereal bars that come in a box that's big enough just on one side of the box for 5.5 inches, then that's what you're going to want. I will give you a list of all the things you need to do this, and hopefully you'll have most of them, if not all of them, around the house. And let's go make a 5.5 inch square template out of things you've got in the home. See you soon. So you're going to need your cereal box, a piece of paper, a ruler, a little ruler, 15cm one that fits in your pencil case will work just perfectly. Scissors, not your fabric scissors. If you have fabric scissors, you definitely want to use other scissors for this, and a pen or a pencil. So to make your 5.5 inch square template, first thing you want to do is fold over a corner so it joins on either side, just like this. So you want it to be nice and crisp, so it lines up straight along there, and fold it down here. This is a piece of paper that I printed on words to test my daughter's reading. This is first 100 most used words. So when you've cut this end off here, this will end up being a perfect square. Too big, but it's a start. So we cut off the end, following along the folded bit of paper there. Okay, this bit we don't need. So we now have this square piece of paper. Now it's too big, but like I said, that's just our start. So you take your ruler, and a 15cm ruler should be 6 inches down the side. Now you're needing a 5.5 inch template. So I'm going to do it this way because I find it easier to be on the inside of the paper. So you line up the end of the ruler. This is maybe not the best ruler to show you, but I was trying to use a little one that would help. Assuming that nobody has giant rulers, we're going with the easiest things that we might actually have in the house. So the start line for me is just slightly in from the end, and you read along. There's 5 inches, and then that mark there, that's 5 inches there, and this mark here is 5.5. Oh, 5.5. So you can see there I've marked 5.5 along the side. And then what you want to do is do the same on the other side. So there's my 5.5 mark there. I'm not taking it too far in, because then you've got more of a chance of going squinty, and probably you know, we're trying to as perfect as we can, but we're going for the best we can do with what we've got at home. So 5.5 inches there, and that, like I said, there's my starter line. So my line I'm drawing starts there, and that should be 5.5 inches and 5.5 inches. So once again, you're going to fold your bit of paper, and you're going to have a wee peek, and those lines should match up. And I don't know if you can see there, but they're pretty close. Right, now here comes the tricky bit. So now what you need to do is you need to measure how many inches from the edge this is. Now my husband was asking why we work in inches when doing, sorry, I was just checking out straight, why we work in inches when doing quilts, and I'm assuming it's because of the American influence. I wouldn't like to try to do quilts in centimetres now that I'm used to them in inches. So that's 2 and 2, 4, 6/8. Okay, so I want to get to roughly 2 and 6/8 here, so just, that's about it. Right, so that's my wee line. So for those of you that missed that, sorry, I measured from where my purple lines are here. I've drawn my 5.5 inches, and I measured that it was 1, 2, and then 2, 4, 6 of the wee lines. And I took it along here so that the lines look like they're lying straight here, and that again is the same point and drew the line here. So that was 2 6/8. So I'm wanting to kind of have measured that same distance along there, which then gives me a nice line to follow here. And that, oh, that looks pretty close. There's my starter line. And there is 5.5 inches. So, seeing as we're making a homemade template, I am pretty happy with that. So, I think you can guess what next thing is. You're going to cut this bit off. Right along, oh sorry, right along that line that you've drawn. Now, the reason I was saying to do it on paper is because if you imagine doing that with your cardboard box, that would be a bit trickier. So, 5.5 inches, pretty close. I'm happy with that. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. Yes, that looks good. Right, so next thing is I'm going to go for the hoops at the bottom because I am special like that. Whatever cardboard you've got, I actually was going to cut the sides off to make it easy. Don't worry about being neat at this point. Just need a bit that you know is going to be roughly big enough. Right, so I've used a cereal box. I actually was going to use a pizza box, but my husband turfed it just before I was going to film this video, so I stole a cereal box instead. Now, this is where we use a ruler to draw along the edge of the square that we've made, like this. You want to keep a hold of the square and slide the ruler in. Right, so we have a quick look. Yeah, I don't think I've caught that edge. When you're going so close to the paper, sometimes you don't quite catch. But sometimes you do, you catch the paper more than the cardboard. So just have a wee check before you fully lift it off that you have got the cardboard. Right, I'm happy with that. So now we have cardboard with a 5.5 inch square. I'm just going to have another double check of how close it is. If it's really off, now is when we want to adjust it. So yeah, I'm about 1/8 of an inch out on this side, so I possibly want to change that a bit. Let's see what it's like at the other end. No, it's pretty accurate on the other end, so it's just a bit of a diagonal I need to draw here from that corner that we feel is right up to this mark that I've made. There we go, so that's my better line, and then I'm just going to double check on this side. So there is, again, this is probably because of having to draw around the paper, so this is just where you make wee adjustments. That's my 5.25, and let's see from this corner. Yeah, it's pretty good. So, same thing. Gotta get a wee diagonal going. Right. So we know that we're going to cut the inside of that line and the inside of that line and along those two lines there. And that should be a 5.5 inch square. Again, don't use your fabric scissors. If you don't have fabric scissors yet, you'll have to use the same scissors for your cutting of your cardboard and for cutting of your fabric, and that's fine. It's fine to do it that way around. But if you have scissors that are your expensive scissors for fabric, you're not supposed to use them on paper, and definitely not on card, because it dulls them. And people have even been known to put little padlocks in here so that people can't use their special scissors, because some of them are really expensive. Some of them not bad, considering they're a decent sharp big pair of scissors, but some of them can be very expensive. You can get some very beautiful ones that are rainbow colour, all sorts of things. So yes, look after your scissors. There we go, got my hoops on like I wanted. there is your 5.5 inch. Now, what I always do is I write in the middle 5.5 inches. Now, when I've got that sitting in my box, I'm going to know that's my 5.5 inch template, and I can grab that. I don't need to bother measuring. So, away goes your recycling, and you are ready to start using your template to cut some fabric. So I'll see you in the next video.